Border Barrels. Here we are, and just before we went on air, Huddo was spitting on the floor, so
He may cough a little bit.
he may cough a little bit. We weren't sure what happened, but I'm pretty sure he
I
spat on the
think-
floor.
I don't know what happened either.
No, I think I know what happened. I think he saw Lockie Neal's captain score that has just finished not long ago.
It's quite possible.
So although he's quite happy about the Bombers getting up.
Yeah, but I'd take a Lockie Neal 80 as a captain every day if it means Essendon beat him.
Well, there you go. Well, righto. So, Huddo, who's your ins and outs for this week?
Nah, I didn't have any because I got no trades.
How many do you actually have left?
No, I got 2 trades to cover me for the rest of the year. I don't care. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I've filled my team with people that I think will score well and I also like.
Yep.
So my least liked player is James Sicily because
Yep.
I just don't like the cut of his jib.
He's a great man.
No, good footballer, but don't love him. And then I've got M8. It's probably not the best choice, but Ben Keys.
Okay. No,
That's
well,
best
it's
choice
a
right
good-
now. Half
good
time,
call
he's
now,
the top
but,
scorer for the Crows.
Yes, but I love watching him play because his story and everything got delisted, was no good, came back Adelaide, and they're like, oh, I'm good, very good now.
No, good stuff. Now,
So yeah, no
what,
ins, no outs.
and what points are you on to start the round?
ranking
Sorry, not
ranking
points.
and all that.
Start the-
Ranking.
Ranking.
Yeah.
Isaac ranking.
You have to tell me how to look that up.
Yep. So you go to your
Ranking.
Supercoach homepage, and should be if you type in supercoach.heraldsun.com.au,
He's
it'll
already
take you
on it.
there.
He's done well.
Oh, okay. Ranking, I am 806.
Jeez, good stuff.
All
right.
Coming off 2608 last week. Currently, big move of the week for me. Yes, we mentioned captain is Neil, and four went Oliver's VC score because
That's rough.
because Essendon can't fucking defend, and for the first time in 3 years, we fucking tagged a player. And of course,
it made me mad because you were playing a team that had a lot of guys out, and you guys are playing for finals, and it's like win at all costs, and then it ruins everyone's Supercoach weekend.
Yeah, well, but the big move I made was I had the VC on Paddy McCartan Friday night, and I took out Liam Baker for Paddy McCartan's 108, and Baker scored 70, so I was justified in my
Nice.
move.
Well done. Righto, Gratz.
Look at you go.
So that makes up for my terrible captain's choice.
Yeah.
Shout out Tuke Miller. What a man.
Oh yeah,
What a
I need to
man.
get him in.
Very good.
I made one trade.
Yep.
You talk about players you don't like and not having them or all that sort of stuff. I got rid of Isaac Heaney finally.
Yep.
Oh, that was a good move.
I got to be honest, I don't enjoy watching him prance around the footy field when he's not getting the ball. When he's getting the ball, he's great to watch. When he prances around and doesn't get it, he looks like he's just there to look good. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I tell you, it must be
Am
tough.
I alone in that?
It must be tough when you trade him out and then he goes and kicks 4 goals with 17 touches for 112 Supercoach
He
points.
does, but I traded him to English. I now have a loop into my ruck if a ruck gets injured, and English scored 97, so whatever, and everyone's got him. It's fine.
Talking about you say trudge around by Isaac Heaney. I've never seen a worse effort-looking base game than Tim English.
Oh, I actually...
You watch him
I
and you're
think
like,
he's
do you want to
scared.
care?
No,
do you
not
wanna
scared.
Give a fuck?
Sorry, I should clarify. I think he's
Oh,
had
he's
a
not
couple
scared.
he's had a couple of head knocks, and I think he's actually was a little bit worried about head contact. He got into
It
the
was
game
even
a bit
before
more,
that, though. It's
but
because, no doubt he's good. It's just you watch him play and it's like, if you gave 10% of a fuck, you'd be great.
oh wow. No, he's at his best year and he's signed on, so good for them. But anyway, sorry.
But what I'm saying...
Last week
No,
I got 2,600.
Jeez, that's huge.
26, only 8
You
points.
didn't
below
say that
Hudson.
about me.
Well, what was yours?
2608.
We expect that from you.
And
Sorry.
so
That's
season
26 is big.
season rank's gone up to 7,675,
Oh.
which I'm very happy with. That was my goal to be in the top 10,000, but didn't have a goal when I got in there.
Top
So
10. Top 10.
just to keep going. So that's pretty good. And 4 trades left now for injuries.
Very good.
all right.
What have I got? So I am ranked. So my ins and outs. So
I am rank.
I am ranked. I'm bloody rank at Supercoach. So
Better than last year.
Daniel Rich went out with their hamstring awareness.
Yeah.
He's been hamstrung.
As
so
was Dusty.
so I had
Hamstring
it-
awareness.
I was going to keep him in, but we
Yes.
had a look, and
Did ya?
my matchups looked like they may have been in trouble. So I did swap him out for James Sicily. And,
Oh, nice.
And great timing because James Sicily isn't doing that well, but he's
Yeah,
going to
but-
score more than Rich.
I think if we have a look at it here, players...
Who did you have on your bench that could have played for Rich?
Yeah, so this was tough for you because I remember we talked about this yesterday. You had Jacob Ware.
McCartan.
No, he was in the forward line.
Yeah, but still, like
You couldn't have swapped
Oh,
him.
you couldn't have swapped him.
I could have
with Rep Bazzo.
trade him out. And
Yeah, but
flipped
Rep
around.
Bazzo's also in his forward line.
Yeah.
Forward line.
Forward line.
He's
No,
in
so
his
on the
forward
bench he
line.
had Jacob Ware, who scored 30-something. And I said, if his emergency goes well, then you can keep Rich perfect. If it doesn't, you do have D'Ambrosio there who got subbed out during the third quarter, and he only scored 30 as well. So,
Yeah, so it didn't go
it
so
was
well.
So, good call.
But
Yeah.
in saying that, though, you did have Whitfield on the field, so...
Yes. Well, anyway.
Which field was he on?
Let's we'll go into that later on when we go into the games. But yeah, so that they were my in-outs.
In-out.
24-25 last week and a ranking of 31,170. I'm coming for
That's
you.
the highest you've
coming
ever
up.
been. You've done it for 2 years and you're bloody only moving up.
tell
And the
you
thing is,
what.
Sime, you might be mad about Sicily for this week, but he is the highest averaging defender in Supercoach. So
Yeah, you gotta do
you
it.
can't be upset. And if you've got... Do you have Hewitt? You have Hewitt.
Yeah,
And
I'm
you've got
expecting.
Sinclair.
I'm expecting a big game this afternoon. But anyway, we'll
From Hewitt.
from all of them.
I just there's something in my waters that I'm backing Paddy Cripps in against West Coast. I reckon West Coast are going to put time into Walsh, and Cripps will have a field
Well,
day.
I got him too, so that's good. Right, well, will we do? We get it started.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to do this.
Heroin.
He's got the top. He's got plenty of carry. It's going. It's going. It's gone. It's a miracle goal. Thomas has uploaded the biggest barrel of his career. Boy, oh boy, wow, the winner of the North Smith Medal for 2010 is Scott Emery.
Oh, we've done the intro now. Very good, and I've been silenced by Hudson. So there you go. But
Stop the count.
Yeah, we've done the intro now, and you know what that means. We're getting into the footy, or you might not know what that means because we haven't really designated that's what we do. But we're getting into the footy Thursday night. Geelong Cats 91, Melbourne Demons 63.
Good enunciation, because the other feedback I had from listening back to the pod whilst not participating was I never knew who the second team was, because it was always Geelong Cats 91.
Well, I thought it was funny.
He turns into an airline pilot on one of those cheap airlines.
Or like the subways on. But no, what you would have seen getting away from the footy just then during the intro was Zach and I being not COVID safe and sharing a can.
Cute.
Oh, yeah, you said you were sick and you were coughing.
You're fucked.
And spitting. He was spitting too. You're going to get
Go,
that.
wah!
It's all right. I had a cold during the week. I can't even get both at the same time.
What? The cold
Anything.
and two sicknesses.
Anything.
One at a time, please.
Isn't it like the Mr. Burns thing? They're all trying to fit through the door at the same time.
It's like
so
a
they're
big
all stuck.
It's a big Indian file of sicknesses.
Yeah.
One goes, the new one comes in.
Bloody hell.
But yeah, Geelong killed them. Really,
It was
Gawn and Jackson back. I expected better from the Doos.
without being. I don't want to always sound negative about Geelong because it's not about Geelong in general. About the team. Geelong played at home last week, and Melbourne played in Adelaide. And I was looking forward to this game until I found out it was at that bloody ground in Geelong again. Somehow,
fucking
with
how-
the fixturing,
how
with no one
dare-
to the left behind the goals.
How dare Geelong have a home game at their home ground?
No, but 2 weeks in a row where Melbourne also travelled the week before. My question, this was a MCG blockbuster if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, but it's a Geelong home. I'm the opposite of this. I think no matter, Geelong deserve to play home games in Geelong. That's
Probably.
Yeah, whatever your argument is, whether Melbourne travel, that's fixturing, because I'm sure there's plenty of teams that have done Adelaide to fucking Brisbane and all this weird nonsense. But what pisses me off is when they're like, oh, Geelong home game against Richmond. It's a big game. We'll play it at the G. It's like, okay, so it's a Richmond home game.
Well, Geelong need to hope they play bloody Freo in the finals, otherwise they're not playing down there. It's bloody get a grandstand in there.
I actually, you know what's funny? I talked to a Richmond fan about this, and they're like, I do think we need to adopt the NFL model and forego ticket sales and be like, before the season starts, we just decide on a ground. We always disperse, but 2024, we got to decide in this week, and we're 2024, where are we going to have the grand final? Who hasn't?
Oh,
Gabba.
that.
Yeah.
Gabba,
What
we
was
all
there?
know the season's going to be played out, and no matter who's there, 2024 grand final will be at the Gabba. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always an
If
advantage.
all the grounds held the same amount of people, I'd be all
Yeah,
for
but no,
that.
but that's what I'm saying is, like, the counterpoint to that is get rid of fucking commercial ticket sales. Like, the Harvey Norman rep doesn't need to go to the fucking footy because he doesn't care. He's just going because it's the grand final.
Yeah.
Interest free.
I think as well, much like the Olympics, when the Olympics, I know the Olympics, a lot of revenue comes in, but like, let's say that the grand final is going to be in Geelong
Yeah.
in 2028. All of a sudden, between now and 2028, you get that grandstand and you get those other things, and the infrastructure gets better. So all the grounds will get better because they will have that influx, that huge influx at some stage.
They're going to widen those wings.
Yeah, well,
It's the most narrow ground in the AFL.
But that's the point. Is like you play to the ground. Like if you have ambiguity in the dimensions of the ground as a code, that's your own fault. It's much like soccer. Various grounds have width and length discrepancies because the space that they're allotted or whether they play to the ground. Like a number of clubs in the Premier League have been like, well, like Burnley, for example, play a high pressure game. They're not a very good side, but they like really want like to congest the game, and their ground's 5 meters narrower and 5 meters shorter.
Yeah,
or
it's just
something
different,
like
yeah.
that. Like Geelong, they're like, well, if the footy's played through the corridor, we're on.
When people ask me if I like soccer, I say I do, but not Burnley. Burnley can fuck off. Something from the In-Betweeners movie. If anyone's
But,
playing
so
along.
like, I just think like, and it, like you said, it'd help with the infrastructure. Like we'd all of a sudden, it's like, well, spotless, well, fucking GWS Giant Stadium are getting it in 6 years. Let's put a new grandstand in and get the ticket sales rolling in.
Yeah.
But like, how fucking good would a grand final at the Adelaide Oval be? Like everyone's standing on the hill there, like standing tickets. Like it'd be like a big mosh.
I'm in the MCG every year camp, but I would have liked to have seen Adelaide get it after Perth got it. I think that they probably deserve one.
Yeah.
But anyway, we digress because there are some
yes.
Supercoach scores to talk about, and basically,
Was there?
Clary Oliver, I know you did, and some
Yes.
other people passed on his VC score, which in hindsight might have been silly, but oh, yes, fair enough. Some people use 130 as the general rule.
But so for me, I wanted to take the risk because, as I said at the start, I'm 806, and my way up is risk taking, and unfortunately, it didn't pay off this week, but it has in the past 2 weeks, bringing in Liam Baker and Bailey Dale, which is entirely against the grain.
Yeah.
But the other one, so Clary, Max Gawn back with a big 98, so he could be a nice little ruck target, considering no one has rucks that anyone has actually heard of.
Even Nan Curvis, it was a good pod, got injured.
Yep.
Petrarca, who I brought in 2 weeks ago, luckily he kicked 3.
Can we talk about that statistic? Stat line? Statistically strong game from Christian Petrarca, 21 touches and 3 goals.
4 tackles.
Unfortunately, kicked it to Geelong more often than not.
Yeah, that was the thing. There was probably a 120-point game gone begging, really. On the Geelong side, I saw people had Cam Guthrie as a pod, which is a good one. He's in a rich vein of form, and actually laid 7 tackles, and he's and kicked 2 goals. But the knock on him has been his defensive efforts. I see that from Geelong supporters.
I had him last season. He was quite
did I.
consistent.
You would have been great having him like this year, Simon. We always said you need pods. That would have been a bloody good one.
I just want to... can we bookmark that soundbite of you saying we need pods? Because a pod that we've always wanted you to get from the Saints played quite well.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll talk about him a bit later on. But Mitch Duncan was massive. Supercoach, pretty good. But in terms of game involvement, massive. He was very good.
And this is not a knock on him. I'm saying that that's a strange stat line because it looks like only one of 2 Geelong players that didn't lay a tackle, but had 28
But he's not much
kicks and 11 marks.
28 kicks, 4 handballs, 11 marks, and 2 goals playing off halfback.
That's what, yeah.
But nowadays you look at it, and a lot of the stronger and like well-regarded halfbacks don't make tackles. If you look at it, like
Mate, I played a whole country footy career not laying tackles. I know
Yeah,
all about
you're
it.
all about it.
You don't have to bloody convert me.
Like for example, Angus Brayshaw, 0 tackles. Michael Hibbard, 0 tackles. That's on the Melbourne side. Then Geelong, Mitch Duncan and Jack Henry, 0 tackles. I haven't known Nick Dacos to lay many tackles. Nick Hines, probably not much of a tackler. Massimo D'Ambrosio, short sample size, but not many tackles.
Probably
That
the
was
best.
my other feedback from last week. You guys kept saying D'Ambrosio. Come on.
Well,
You're
isn't
half
that it?
Italian. D'Ambrosio. It's just damn. D-A-M.
I reckon I was just saying Massimo,
Massimo.
But it's funny. It's
which I think is
more
Massimo.
fun
I
to.
think it's pronounced
you know,
Massimo.
D.
Well, no,
Ambrosio.
so he came out and said it's pronounced the way it's spelled.
Okay.
So Massimo.
It's like, mate, that doesn't help us.
D'Ambrosio.
You got more bloody letters in your name than the alphabet. But anyway, Jeremy Cameron's a pod people have only scored 60.
Yep,
That's unfortunate. Have you
I've
guys
seen a
seen
few
Deconey
teams
still?
with Syme's mate Tom Hawkins.
Oh, the Hawk.
And the person who won't win Rising Star for the year but deserves it more than anyone, Sam DeConing, scored a 72.
And off minimal stats, so you can see he had a good game probably with the spoils and the defensive efforts.
If
in
his
that
name was
case.
Tom Stewart, he'd be getting 140 every week.
Well, he bloody looks like Tom Stewart.
That's not a slide on Tom Stewart because I love the bloke.
Now, I have a question before we go to the next game.
Wow.
So, since it was top of the table clash,
Yes.
was the result a sign for things to come or not?
I don't know if it's a sign of things to come as such off this week, but I'm very worried about Melbourne because for the last month and a bit, they've looked quite poop.
The top probably 4 to 5 teams at this point, I reckon, a bit, not interchangeable is not the right word, but each week 1 or 2 of them plays well and 1 or 2 doesn't, and we start to think about writing them off. So this week, for example, do we worry about Brisbane losing to Essendon? Is that going to be a sign of things to come?
Well, I think Essendon's sneaking into the...
Geelong, but Freo, after what they did last night, like a Geelong and Freo, the top 2 seeds all of a sudden.
No, I tell you who...
It's interesting.
I
don't
tell you,
know.
if I had to pick right now based on form alone, and it pains me to say, but Collingwood.
No, I've got something for you when we get to that game.
All right,
But when we
well-
get to it, but
We'll get through. So, up to Friday night's game, Sydney Swans, 120. Western Bulldogs, 67.
Well, we spoke about the trade that I did, so that we've already spoken about the players and what they scored, but a lot of people do have Heaney and most have English at this point.
Bailey Dale.
But yes, Bailey Dale tagged
Yeah.
in this game, in a game where the Dogs... So here's a stat. Here's the stat from the weekend. In the third quarter of the game, Sam Reid laid 8 tackles. The Western Bulldogs as a team laid 8 tackles.
There you go.
Can we talk about that when Sam Reid went into the ruck, he had the same amount of hit-outs as Tim English.
Yeah, it was...
over the course of him starting in the ruck and the game ending. Sam Reid was...
the best game I've seen him play. Just
the best on ground from the point he went into the ruck.
I honestly, he had 13 tackles. Like, what is that? I honestly believe...
Callum Mills had 16 tackles.
I honestly believe that
That's
the Dogs now
insanity.
are going to go... They're going to win every game on the way home, and this was the game they needed to have, or the opposite. They're going to lose every game because they're going to go, well, we're done.
My money's
We are done.
My money's on Western Bulldogs going, let's get a pick out of this.
Yeah, well,
Because
maybe.
even if they scrape into the 8, I can't see much going on in making any inroads.
Goodness.
So there's some Nick Cummins ad on the TV, but who's the girl in it?
Some tradie ad.
I don't know.
But yeah, Tom Papley, Grub Sport, he's on report.
Grub Sport, forgot about that.
But nothing to answer for him on that regard. Tom Liberatore top scored for Western Bulldogs in a rich vein of form, even though he has the inability to move without looking like he could die at any moment.
No, okay. So the best thing I got from this game, and Simo, and we've got to show you because I'm sure you didn't watch, but if you could just put a video of Tom Liberatore running, that's funny enough, but then splice that next to footage of Nick Blakey running at the same time. It was more pronounced than ever, the lizard run on the weekend. Because a couple of times he got the footy on halfback and took off. How does his head not move?
It makes weird, but it's not even the head doesn't move. It's like, why can't you just run in a straight line? It's like he's dodging things that aren't there. Like in his mind, he's doing the cone like a pole weave.
No, so what it is, it's like so I recently drove too far into the garage and actually hit the lawnmower, and the front wheels of the lawnmower bent in a little bit. So now when I push it, it doesn't go in a straight line.
He needs a
That's
wheel
happened
alignment.
to Blakey. He
Yeah,
needs a wheel alignment. He still goes fast.
Or his hips might be out. He might have tightness. He might have hamstring awareness.
Oh, shaky,
he's got-
shaky Blakey.
He needs to have some hamstring awareness and be aware of what's going on.
Gee whiz.
Yeah,
that's all I've got.
Yeah,
from
we
that
mentioned Paddy McCartan scoring 108. I just wanted to have a quick chat. Chad Warner could be very good now.
game. Yeah, he might be a little watch for next year.
Fuck, he's fast. The way he attacks contests, like he is getting lucky with a few of the balls bouncing up into his hands. But when he attacks the contest, good God, and he wins the footy, who has a chance?
But it's
Like,
one
you
of,
know what? He's just so quick and lower half strong.
it's one of those ones that like people that go in hard often come out with it, and you're like, how did he? And I don't know. I don't know what the law is. I don't know what the science is, but it is something. People that go in there hard often come out with it.
Well, because I think he's so proactive, whereas everyone else is reactive. Like, they're waiting for the ball to get tapped, whereas Warner's like, well, if it fucking gets tapped here, I'm on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, my joke for this game was the Bulldogs lived up to the name and rolled over and submitted
They
as
did.
only a dog
They
can.
really wanted a
There
belly
you
scratch.
go. Well, they got a
But
belly scratch.
They
give
were
them a
just
belly
worried.
scratch.
Well, swans are very dangerous animals, aren't they? Fucking cranky little bastards.
With their dicks.
But we can,
Cloaca.
we're nearly
Call
up.
back to episode 2.
Oh no, swans have DX. The rest
they
of the
do
bird,
have
the rest
dicks.
of the bird families have.
Oh, no, we
That's
already
right.
talked about
Yeah.
this. Swan dick. Swan dick callback.
Now, this next game's interesting, and this can be a little debate section, I reckon.
Yes,
I reckon
it
we might be at
is.
odds at this.
Collingwood Magpies 88, North Melbourne Kangaroos 81.
Is it a debate because the commentators talked about how this was a big win for Collingwood despite the fact that they only beat the bottom team by 7 points and shouldn't have beaten them anyway if it wasn't for some very poor last quarter efforts by North?
That's true, but when you were speaking about the flag thing, that's what I wanted to debate.
Yeah.
So I had to look back at Collingwood's form.
But you just look at wins.
I do look at wins, but I had to look back at Collingwood's form this year. And generally, when there's very close games, you are doing well as a team if you can win like probably more than 70% of the close games because, you know, they're 50-50 really if they're close ones. Collingwood are winning essentially 100% of the close games.
Yeah.
So the Brisbane one, they were 7 points behind. But it's the shocking loss to the Western Bulldogs. Horrible loss in hindsight to West Coast Eagles. If you look at the rest of their games, the game against Hawthorn, they were 5 goals up, gave up the lead. Hawthorn had a chance twice in the last quarter to get 3 goals in front, missed. Collingwood come back and win. They fell over the line against an undermanned Carlton. They won a 50-50 contest against the Gold Coast last week. Again, one of those ones that could have gone either way. And yesterday, against the worst team we've seen since 1996, Fitzroy, have been the worst team for 3 quarters, been 28 points down at 3-quarter time and still had a win. Their percentage is 106, which is way worse than every team in the top 8. So my argument is, as much as they're winning, I believe they're in a position much like Essendon 2021 and Hawthorn 2018. If they make finals from this point, I reckon rude awakening first week of the finals, or they'll fall in a heap, start losing those close games and not make finals at all.
So I completely disagree because the thing is, like, this is, like, I've got a stat that'll kind of prove my point wrong, and I'll give the stat first, was Grundy played rounds 1 to 6 and they were 3-3. Since Grundy went out, they've gone 8-2. So
Trade him.
So, well, apparently the rumours are Grundy won't play for Collingwood next year. He's on the way out. And after going 8-2, you can't argue against a renaissance of Mason Cox's career and the way Darcy Cameron's been playing as a ruck forward. But in saying that, he is the best, if not a top 2 ruckman in the comp to come back into a team that has gone 8-2 in the last 10 games and beaten the likes, close games, came back as well against North, against Gold Coast in the wet, beaten Melbourne, beaten Carlton, beaten Freo, like they're top 8 teams, and well-entrenched top 8 teams over the course of the year, like only lost to Geelong by 13 points and only lost to Brisbane by 7. So I actually haven't looked at the ladder.
I'm
to
happy
see
for
where they
people to
beat, but
disagree with my point. It's
if
just the way I see it.
If Collingwood had have beaten West Coast, they'd be equal first right now.
But the thing
Which
is,
is insanity.
if they'd lost the 2 games, like I said, they've had all those close ones. If you lose 2 of them, which they probably should have lost to Carlton and Hawthorn, they would have been out of the top 8. That's how close it is.
Yeah,
But
it's very close to the top 8, but I think our top 8's pretty locked. If I look at it now, I think St Kilda and Western Bulldogs are and Gold Coast Port are the closest. I don't see.
Well, they're all
Any way
within
in for them.
They're all within 1 win striking distance. Those
Yeah,
4
I just think
teams.
Richmond were unlucky against Gold Coast. The only team to lose by after siren goal to the Gold Coast, Richmond, have done it twice. The only team in the AFL to do that. Well, even once. St Kilda, I don't know. I don't know about them. But no, I I hate it because I do not like Collingwood, obviously being an Essendon fan, but also being a Jack Ginnivan loather. I can't buy into Collingwood, but I was a bit disappointed after yesterday's result.
Well,
I wanted
you
North
think?
to have a go.
Well, to bring it back to the actual game,
Yeah.
and rather than the whole season, all I can tell you is there's a very staunch Collingwood supporter that I work colleague, and this is pretty much how people should feel about this Collingwood win. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because he was mad, and he was about to punch a hole in the wall. Then they lost. Then they won, and he's like, "Thank God." So all the commentary that you said to start off with, that everyone was like, "What a great win from Collingwood." No.
Nah.
You should have won by 30
It's
points.
fucking, yeah, you
should have won by 30 points.
It's the same as if Brisbane had have scraped over the line against Essendon. It's like, yeah, you've got a few outs. You're a top 14.
Yeah.
It's a full squad.
But they're VFL. Do NEFL play in the VFL now? Are they still part of it?
Yeah.
Because of COVID? Yeah, so Brisbane are third in the VFL. So realistically, they should have a very good side considering Essendon are third from bottom and their VFL team are second from bottom, or something similar. Like, they should have won anyway. So you know what I mean? Like, if Brisbane got up, you can't just be like, Brisbane, what a win. And it's like, nah, calm down. But like, they should have put it away early. And the reason they didn't put it away is because I really love this bloke, and I think he might be my first pick next year based on his form. LDU.
Yeah.
Has very much broken out.
All those clearances.
Oh,
and
very
he
good.
actually was on, so he finished on 149. He was on 145 at three-quarter time.
Yeah, so he faded away because Collingwood started to dominate, and unfortunately North Melbourne are so shit that they had to, like, LDU just... He carries the team on his back, much like Cunnington has done the last few years.
Yep.
That
They need them both playing together.
come the fourth quarter, it was like, this dude's about to fall apart. And he didn't. He still had to go, but... Like, I think it was the third by three-quarter time, he had more clearances than Collingwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
He
crazy to watch.
alone.
Crazy to watch.
But yeah.
But in Supercoach, Jack Crisp,
Relevant to us.
disappointing again for you guys. I had no one in this game.
Jack
but-
Crisp, he started through the middle, went back and scored all his points. So, who would have fucking thought that Jack Crisp would score points at the back, considering it's all he's done his whole career?
Yeah, well.
But yeah, I had Darcy Cameron as well, ended up on 93. I feel that's unders, considering 12 touches, 21 hit-outs, and 3 goals.
Yeah, I actually checked at one point. He kicked his third goal, and he was only on... Oh, no, sorry. He kicked his second, but he'd only had 8 touches. So
Yeah.
he was...
And unfortunately for Darcy Cameron, when he kicked all his 3 goals when it wasn't close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
If
so
he
he
had
helped
a
him
kick-
get back into it, but indirectly.
But champion data don't rate that. They only rate the one person who did fuck all game and then kicked the winning goal. And by the looks of it was Nick Dacos scoring 99 off 20 touches and a goal. Like, I love Nick Dacos, don't get me wrong, but any chance of defending? You play hard.
He'll win the Rising Star.
He will win the Rising
He'll win-
Star by a fucking landslide.
Yeah, he will
Because
now.
De Koning hasn't even been nominated.
No.
Can you win the Rising Star if you haven't been nominated?
And Newcomb's still been good, but he's not getting 38 a week. Like
Newcomb and Martin have fallen back to the pack in that regard. I think I'm just waiting. Can you win it without being nominated? No. So De Koning's just waiting for a nomination and then he'll win.
Although, to be fair, Newcomb leading disposal winner on the ground at halftime in this game.
Oh,
But
yeah,
that's-
no. But, like,
Nah, Dacos will win it. Like, there's no bias involved in this. Bloody hell, don't worry about that.
he's fucking...
But
he's kicked away.
Now, you talked about winning goals.
Yeah,
Yep, the next
Yes.
game.
Leeds, yeah, probably game in the round, would say at this stage.
Oh, but it's the second best game of the year.
Yeah,
well,
he's
there you
goal
go.
The goal comes.
94. Richmond Tigers, 92.
Richmond...
The unlosable game.
Richmond involved in the 2 best games of the year, as we can all recall the famous Tom Stewart incident. The Geelong-Richmond game was the best we've seen this year.
Yeah.
This goes second, and the game after it I'd say was third because that Freo St Kilda game was very good.
Yeah. So not being
but
close, it was just a good game.
Noah Anderson is, and we knew this beforehand, but Noah Anderson is very good at football.
Just needed his old man to play 13 extra games, and he would have been wearing brown and gold.
Yeah, well, he's wearing red and gold, and he had 26 touches, 9 marks, 7 tackles, 2 goals, and one of them was the most important kick in Gold Coast history.
Yep.
Almost.
Just to explain that point, Gratzy, the father-son rule, so how many games you have to play?
100.
I didn't
But
know
his
that.
old man played in multiple premierships, I believe, which I think maybe should, if you get that close, should not trump it, but maybe if you win a flag, maybe that should count a little bit.
I think they need to do away with the father-son anyway.
Ah, no, that's a topic
So-
for another time.
so-
It's
but
the only bloody... it's
it-
the only sport that does it.
Love
It
it.
is,
And then
and
we just brought in the bloody father-daughter and mother-daughter rule will come in soon too.
So is that preferential drafting? Is that what that is?
Well, you're pretty much guaranteed a father-son. Like, as
But
long
what-
as you want him.
And they
So-
nominate you.
So,
So
for
what if I'm if I'm shit at football?
tough,
But-
but you won't get drafted.
Okay, so still
Yeah,
you
you've
have
still
to get
got to be
drafted.
good enough. But so, for example, it is Sam Darcy, isn't it?
Yes.
Sam Darcy last year was a top 5 pick in the AFL draft, no matter what was going to happen. And the second pick, who ended up... Western Bulldogs didn't actually get that pick. Who was...
GWS? No,
I'm
it wasn't
fairly sure.
GWS.
Because Finn Callahan went 4.
Oh, yeah.
But he went 4.
No, so it was...
No, they must have.
There was Jason Horn-Francis. Number 2 was Darcy. Then it was Callahan. Then Dacos.
Yeah, so Callahan. So GWS went, we want Sean Darcy. And because father-son is
they
exempt from any rules, Western Bulldogs are like, no.
Okay.
We'll take him.
Yep.
So they've got to have the points for it.
Yeah,
But
gotcha.
So I think it'll probably end up going the way of it's a few years behind academy picks. Like, because they've brought in the rule now that academy picks can't be matched in the top 20.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's good for the sport because the problem with AFL academies is that they're location based. So, like, for example, GWS took Albury because every club had a lot of time to have a go, and no club took it. And then Collingwood and I think Essendon were like, no, we want Albury. And I was like, well, you had the chance.
Yeah.
So I think academy picks, it's like, I think it's good. Everyone that's declaring for the draft, no matter what their path, should be available to everyone.
Yeah. The thing is, I like the father-son thing, and they actually, I think, brought it from 200 down to 100 at one point in history.
I just think, because you look at like Western Bulldogs probably haven't been given an advantage from this. But Western
They
Bulldogs...
got heaps.
No. In the last pick. So they made the grand final, and then they had the number 1 pick because Jamari Ugelhagen was an academy pick, and he got bid on first. So it's like there's no... Yeah, I don't know. Like NBA, it's like if you're shit, you get a fucking top pick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, fair
But getting back to the game, Noah Anderson, very, very good. Took Miller, very good. And they actually mentioned this on the commentary. They're like, he carries his club.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've said it for the last 2 years. Took Miller is Gold Coast. It was Gary Ablett Jr., and then they were like, he left, and Took has been like, this is my
and
shit.
Witt's underrated in that. Witt's has
Yeah.
been very good too.
Witts has been very good.
And is their
considering
captain.
He came from Carlton.
Collingwood.
Collingwood, sorry. Yeah, I did. I actually did know that. That's poor from me. Bad from you. Brandon Ellis, one of 2 players in this game to play in both after the siren goals.
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, sorry. One of 8 players, but one of 2 that have played it in for both teams. So Dion Prestia was the other way around the last time this happened.
Or as the Nuffy that from Richmond, Nuffy Richmond supporter that rang up ABC today. He's like, "What do you think?" Oh, say it was Trevor. He's like, "I reckon we need to get Brendan Ellis and Charles back." It's like, all right, I guess you're a Richmond supporter.
Okay.
Brendan.
Matty Rowell was big again. Not score-wise.
83 or something.
Yeah,
No, he played a big
83.
game.
Oh, 87 actually, but he had 18 touches, 11 tackles, and a very important goal.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that was a different game. Shit. St Kilda. I thought of Dan Butler in the St Kilda Freo game. I was like, was that the 50 that cost them the game? But that was,
All I will say though is your mates,
My mate.
mates of your guys, you guys, Rosas,
yeah.
-8.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
tough.
I should have
Got
kept
subbed
him.
out.
Should have kept him. Goodness. All
Anyway,
right.
sure, that's all we got for that game. But like, what a bloody win!
Did we have...
Yeah, so let's
Jaden Short, 95, and then I had, as I said, Liam Baker, 70. That's it for me.
Unless we didn't explain what happened.
Oh, yeah. We didn't. Noah Anderson had the biggest kick of the game, but
Yeah.
Syme, tell us.
Well, Don't do that to me.
No,
I heard
'cause
about
you
it.
know.
I didn't watch
You
it.
fucking know.
Someone
No.
kicked one after the siren.
Yeah, so Gold Coast.
Someone though, I don't know. Who it was.
Gold
Could have
Coast
been me.
were quite a ways down at the end of the third, I believe. But with 5 minutes to go, they were still quite a way down. They had no right to win. And they went forward. Noah Anderson took a very good, like a nice mark, went forward after the siren from the right-hand side, probably 45 degrees, 45 metres out, and shanked it. As Took Miller said, he shanked it, and it worked its way back through the middle. Off the boot, I didn't have any doubts.
He said in under 13s he missed one from the same spot, and he grew
Yeah.
up barracking for Richmond somehow. So
Did you? Yeah. So
There you go.
he said on his run up to his goal, he thought about his under 13s miss.
Oh no.
And why did he
In
go
a
for Richmond when his
semi-final.
old man played it all? Thought, I don't know. I'm not happy about
Maybe
it.
he's colourblind. Who knows? Righto, we'll move on to the next game. St Kilda Saints. Nope.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's who they are. But Fremantle Dockers, 111. St Kilda Saints, 70.
This was my third best game of the year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Sorry. Well, personally, Essendon and Sydney.
I'm going to say it
was
right
fucking
now.
good.
I would love it if Freo got over the line. I would love it if they won.
I enjoy
Yeah, me
Freo
too.
this year, and I hate to admit it, but I think you've kind of counterpointed yourself this year. You said Freo would be the breakout team that would finish in a high position, but you also said Collingwood are a high chance for the.
Oh, I had Collingwood
for
as
the
my wooden
spoon.
spoon. So I got the Freo one, right?
You got one. Yeah, you won. You're one of two.
And I had St Kilda thereabouts. I
Yeah.
believe,
So,
too.
but yeah, Freo just and they did this with an Alex Pearce laid out, who is probably one of the premier key backs this year
Yeah.
based on form. But yeah, Andy Brayshaw, 36 touches and back to the tackle rule, 10 tackles.
You got him, don't you, Simon?
Who's that?
You got Brayshaw?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Do ya? We all do now.
Yep.
132.
I
He
had.
needed 4 more marks to get
I
the AFL
reckon.
quadruple.
I reckon I had him before you blokes did.
False.
When
Very
did you
false.
get him?
I'm fairly sure I got him in the before everyone.
You can say last year.
I got him fucking last year.
No, I did have him last year, but this year I brought him in.
History. Can
brought
I
him
go
in early?
Does my history show my trades? You can do that, can't you?
Maybe we'll look that
We'll
up
look that
after.
up.
Well,
Yeah.
But,
no, trade history. Got it. When did I bring Brayshaw in? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Round 9.
How do I look at that?
Here, hold on. I'm going to move. Why are you doing Mario Kart?
That's what Simon was doing.
Oh, it goes the other way. Round 10.
Oh, well, come on. That's bloody not far off.
Suck one.
Did you know that 10 comes after the number Huddo said?
Yes, it does. Yeah, sorry.
You
It's,
dog.
yes.
But yeah, Brayshaw, very good. Sean Darcy, you both have?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, 111. That seems unders as well. 16 touches, 27 hit-outs and 2 goals. Just like to mention that Darcy Cameron had 2 more touches, 2 more hit-outs and an extra goal. And
Different games.
It scored less.
You know.
But yeah,
Fife was back, but don't trade him in, please.
No, please don't
trade
do
him
that.
in. Will Brodie is the one that got robbed.
Yeah,
I don't have him. I'm the only one in Australia without Will Brodie, and I watched this and thought he got robbed.
holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, 29 touches, 2 goals at 82% efficiency, 9 contested possessions, 6 clearances, which is only behind Brad Crouch. 88.
Yeah, he was.
That's a 100 game all year.
But it was so basically all the damage was done with the points, and
Yeah.
then there weren't many more to disperse. And he had a huge. He had about 10 of those touches in the last quarter.
Fuck, Will
and one of
Brodie
the
is
goals.
very good though.
Yeah, I actually like watching him play now.
That goal, his second goal, was very good football. Couple of handballs, Will Brodie 50 out, bang, and it was sliced. Like St Kilda were sliced
Yeah.
open, like they didn't go near it. On the St Kilda side, Simon, our man Brad Crouch, who you still haven't got,
No, I don't have him.
got 108.
Oh.
Jack Steele, have you brought him back in?
Yeah.
109.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
Jack Sinclair, 110.
Oh, I want
Love
it.
that.
I almost got him. I
you
almost
don't
got
have him?
No, he
No,
doesn't. He
I
had
almost had Sinclair and Laird, but I got Doc and someone else.
So Simmo didn't have the top 3 highest ranking defenders. So with the Rich thing, he basically had to make a choice between the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Which was Dawson, Sicily, and the other guy.
Sinclair.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, personally, I did talk up your Sicily choice, but he would have been the last one I would have picked if that were the case.
Well, we'll see how it plays out.
No. Like I'm not. It just right now I would have taken Sinclair or Dawson over, but I say Dawson because I really wanted him and I couldn't get him. That's probably it from this game, isn't it? Very good football game. Some hilarious banter from the Matt Stevic, the umpire, when Jordan Clark got caught. Arguably got a very thin edge off the boot for a holding the ball call that wasn't paid. And then Brad Hill took on 47 defenders and got tackled. And the holding the ball was paid. And Dan Butler was not very happy.
No.
And a 50 was paid and something, probably a goal, I assume. I think they kicked the goal. From there.
There was a huge moment in the game.
Who got the tackle? Sarong?
I can't
Brayshaw?
remember.
But yeah, St Kilda's one of those teams that I just enjoy watching lose because as an Essendon fan, I enjoy their suffering because we also suffer.
And they've got more suffering through their history.
Exactly right. Like we haven't won a final in many years, but they haven't won a grand final in longer. So
a long time.
Suck me off.
Oh, I'm sure you can hear that plane going over because we could last time.
Maybe it's an Essendon bomber.
In the next game, we won't spend too much time on the game because why would you want to? But we had just a couple of players to mention. I didn't see any of it.
Port Adelaide 84, GWS Giants 29.
I've got 3 things from this game, but you guys can go first before I give my 3 things, if you've got anything.
Oh, I love Josh Kelly, another 110. Still got Cornelio, which is nice. Simon, you don't. That sucks.
Nope.
And I kept Butters, and he has repaid the faith with a nice little
96.
96. So we'll take that, and upscaled about 10 points on the siren too.
So,
which is quite nice.
my 3 things. First off, Connor Rozee, on his day, one of the top 3 players in the comp.
Not an underrated MVP.
Well, not now, because he's so fucking good. My second point, Cornelio and Himmelberg for me, very good. Very happy. Third point, will not play well with the Symes of the podcast because Stephen Cornelio, since round 10, has only been outscored by 2 players in the entirety of the comp.
Goodness me.
Clayton Oliver.
And Jack Sinclair,
Oh,
who you have neither of.
That's why I'm in the top 10,000.
So, yeah, you traded out Cornelio. If we can go back into your history, I reckon probably about round 12, 13.
controversy. It was literally, I traded him out before he started, and then he started getting like 170 every bloody game.
Yeah,
But someone I do have, Whitfield,
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
46. Good on ya.
Thanks, Lockie.
Thanks, bro.
Scored less than Adam Kennedy, who was kicked in the face in quarter 3 and did not come back. Phil Davis, career over, unfortunately.
Yeah. He
And
tries hard.
I do like Phil Davis because he gives it a go and he's not one to whinge and he seems to be good on commentary. Speaking of commentary, Paddy Dangerfield did the St Kilda Freo game and everyone was like, fucking...
He wasn't too bad.
Oh, this is a nightmare. His, football awareness was so much better than some of the shit they get.
Well...
they're like, this bloke's going forward because he needs to get the ball and they need to move it inside because blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I understand what's happening more now.
Well, I mean, as love him or hate him, he's a good footballer, so he knows.
Yes.
He knows all to do with everything. And also, I think midfield, he definitely plays midfield, doesn't he? I don't want to embarrass myself.
No, yeah.
But he knows all facets. He's seeing it all. So.
We learned something about Danger during the week too, didn't we, Simon?
Danger.
His son has never had a haircut.
Is it long?
Is
pretty
it
long.
Is it long?
pretty long.
There was an ex colleague of ours who we always joke could be in shampoo commercials. I think young George could be in shampoo commercials. Yeah. Anyway, look that up on Instagram if you don't follow Danger.
Yeah, very good. Are
Also,
we
look up his
moving
house
on?
build. It's very nice. Very nice house.
Mob's great.
Are we moving on
Yes.
from that game?
Yeah.
Oh, we
Right.
don't have anything to talk about in the next one.
Here we go. So we're up to today.
Start spreading the news.
Oh, good.
Why do you think that was like a take your clothes off song for a sec?
Essendon Bombers 100.
We're
Brisbane
making the
Lions.
A.
No,
As I've mentioned on the podcast before or in private, following Essendon is much like a roller coaster, except the ups we're making top 4. And the downs are, can't I just be dead?
Righto, Ronan Keating.
Life is a roller coaster. Just gotta hate
We
it.
can play 30 seconds.
All night long.
We can play 30
Oh,
seconds
no,
worth
no.
of songs, by the way, and not get done for copyright.
Okay,
That
cool.
might be
Well,
something
I'm
to
going to
look
have
into.
all the songs playing.
Yeah. Starting with that.
But for Supercoach purposes, Lachie Neale as captain, 89. And arguably a breakout game for Jai Caldwell. We mentioned this. Jai Caldwell tagged Lachie Neale. Jai Caldwell himself had 26 touches, 4 marks, 7 tackles, and a goal. And that goal was late in the 4th. It was a very important goal. So he was huge. And finally, Essendon have a tagger. So this could be big for our
This
club.
is not a can I say that's a fantastic tagging job? Can I put it up against what I still think is the most underrated and best tagging job of all time?
Dylan Clark against Patrick Cripps 3 years ago against Carlton
We
when
got
Patrick
9
Cripps had 7 touches.
No. Jordan Lewis played in a forward pocket and tagged Heath Shaw at the height of Heath Shaw's rebounding defender career. Not only did Heath Shaw do nothing, Jordan Lewis kicked 5 goals from a forward pocket.
Know who those two people
Yeah,
are.
Geordie, the guy he looks like
Superman.
he's-
Clark
Superman.
Kent.
I'm unsure of his eyewear choices.
Yeah.
Much like Mason Cox.
Yeah, Jordan Lewis's eyewear choices has completely ruined his AFL career, so we can't talk about him as a footballer anymore.
Yeah, nah.
No, but who else was big? Peter Wright, 5 goals. What's Coleman looking like these days? Anyone got that for me?
Oh, you look that up. Well, while we're talking about that, yeah, disappointed if you had Lachie Neale, but 34% of teams apparently this weekend had him. So
Wow.
it may affect your score, but don't lament too much. Also, scores look a lot lower this week than last week. So at the moment, it's looking like a top of the 1% board could be around about probably still less than 2,500, possibly, the way it's tracking at the minute, especially with other
Interesting.
popular choices in the Hawthorn-Adelaide game also going a little bit poorly, I believe.
But yeah, Peter Wright is now equal 5th with Max King on 40 goals in the Coleman. Jeremy Cameron, Charlie Curnow, Tom Hawkins, Aaron Norton, and then Max King and Peter Wright. You know what's interesting? This is huge. Is that Geelong have 2 players in the top 3 for Coleman. How many times in history has one team had 2 blokes kick that many goals?
Well, I remember in 2008, Buddy kicked 111 and Ruffy kicked 80,
Yeah.
which is pretty crazy when you think about it.
Well, no one's kicking 80 again, let alone 111.
Yeah.
God, the game has changed. And I just really quickly, I don't want to create a whole argument on this because the AFL has always been about improving game speed. Much like I'm against improving podcast speed because we've been going for fucking ages. They've been improving game speed, and then Harry Jones took a mark today, and it was paid holding against Ben Hobbs. Harry Jones took the mark, gave a quick handball, and they kicked it forward, and they were like 50 because it was a hold against Ben Hobbs. It's like you want the game to be really fast, yet you punish people for moving the ball really fast. Like.
That's one of those ones where the umpires will convene and say, was this right or wrong? And they'll tell the public that it was right, but maybe it was wrong.
Yeah, so that's a whole thing that I've
Controversy.
got. But
Controversy.
Bit of that.
Kyle Langford, career high 4
They
goals.
kicked 4 in the end.
Good from him. Syme, big Zach Merritt. Darcy Parish Zach Merritt must be like, Darcy Parish, never play again, please. Because Zach Merritt is so big when Parish doesn't play.
If you had Ridley, I understand you're frustrated that he was on 107 halfway through the third quarter and finished on 103, but you'll take the ton with gritted teeth.
I reckon I'm putting Merritt as captain next week because I reckon he's on.
Well, Parish is out for 4 weeks, so it could be big. And
Well, you might
Merritt,
have heard
31
last-
touches, 8 tackles. Very good. Sorry, you cut you off again.
No, it doesn't matter.
Fuck you, Hudson, you dog. What were you going to say? You
No,
might what?
I've lost it.
Fuck you. You're the worst, Hudson. Who do we have next week, though, if Merritt was to be your captain? Gold Coast. That's cool. Very cool.
Be a good game.
Sunday at 4:40, perfect captain choice. Might put a VC on someone else, but that's probably it for this game. Anyone still have Nick Martin? Probably not. He scored 52. Massimo D'Ambrosio, 36. As I mentioned, subbed off with a bit of a quad complaint. Awareness, maybe.
Quad awareness.
Quad awareness.
I reckon, I want to know. I reckon we were ending podcasts with a Sime question. Have you got one, Sime, this week? Off the top of your dome?
No, well, probably. I
Oh,
probably should have saved my Geelong Melbourne question as far as like what does this mean for the premiership between the two.
Well, true. But that's okay.
But anyway, that's probably all I have.
I've got stuff moving forward. Like I've been, as you know, I'm a big spreadsheet guy. There's still the bye between the last round and the finals, isn't there? Are they still doing that?
I actually don't know.
If they do that, I'd love to do a little Hudson hosts a game show situation in the bye week.
As long as it's fun.
Because we don't. No, I've got some fun stuff.
As
I've
a quiz.
Got plenty of stuff in mind. Like I've got.
Is it quiz?
Is it a quiz?
It shall be quiz, but it'll be quiz on this year. So if you've been paying any attention to the year sign, you'll have a somewhat of an idea of what's going on.
Shit.
But I've also got. I really want to do a who he play for, which is stolen from.
Very good.
Inside the NBA.
Yeah.
And I will weight the questions easier for you because, for
Dominic
example, Dominic
No
Benendo.
idea. No idea. I don't think you'll be able to strike Gratzy out with that one.
No, I'll overthink it.
Zach
By nature.
O'Sheen Mullen, who he play for?
Geelong.
Yes.
Yeah,
Damn.
anyway.
But that's because I've said that
Ask
before.
me one.
I feel. Clayton Oliver, who he play for?
North?
Did you say mine was Ocean Mollusk?
Ocean Mollusk.
Okay.
O'Sheen Mullen.
Also, big news. So
Big
Well, you
news.
do have something. To
yeah,
finish it off.
no. So I'm just looking at fan footy at the moment.
Is that the breaking news?
Paddy Cripps has been tagged
Damn.
by his inability to be consistent.
Oh. So is he tagged?
No, not at all.
He's bad.
Nah.
He's on 27.
It's more points than
Sam
I've ever
Walsh is
scored.
on
Walsh and
41.
Hewitt, good.
Walshy,
Yeah.
I love you,
Jeez,
Walshy.
Kerno, 66.
Anyway, we're just talking shit because by the time you listen to this, you already know. So, bloody drink a nice beer because that's still a thing, and kick a big barrel. We'll see you next week.
And get a dog up your Collingwood.